Here are some more details about how the discussion will unfold each week. So you have something of a sense of what you'll be doing each week. And of course, you have two posts due this very first week, both of them kind of low impact, I think. As instructors of this course, it is our right and duty to insert ourselves into your group conversations. So Mr. Agner may not respond to each and every post, but you will get a grade for each one that you write. So you will get some kind of recognition that you turned in your post, maybe not in the form of a lengthy comment for each and every one. His response might transpire in the form of his inserting himself into your discussion board conversation, and I may do the same because, we want to mix it up with you guys and make discussion a lot of fun because it is the bread and butter of an English class. As I say here, he will look kindly on posts that are intelligent, respond well to other posts. It also will please your sellsword when students post more than once in a given thread, thus fostering a genuine conversation. There's nothing worse than a discussion board for a class if you've taken an online class where people just kind of like submit their papers as if it's a Dropbox. Especially if you write first in a week as the king, you might think about something that will get the rest of the discussion going, and in turn, if you're later in the week posting, you might look at what other people have done, and you won't get much credit if you just reiterate what they've said, because Mr. Agner and I will be, alive to the possibility of that happening. But you can, quote unquote, piggyback off of what other people say, build on it, and expand the conversation. That's what transpires in a brick and mortar English class. We will discuss any breaches of e-etiquette that we perceive, and in turn, if anybody in your class in your house is violating e-etiquette, if you do observe anything, please do bring your concerns to our attention. So within your house, I'd say it's, best to have friendly relationships with the people in your house. If somebody isn't, getting their posts done on time, do let us know, because that's our job to police the conversation. But being unfriendly or derogatory toward anybody in the class, especially people in your house, is really not the best means to the end that you're trying to achieve. So what will that end ultimately be? So I'll scroll down to this. Why put in the extra effort to foster an intelligent discussion? An intelligent discussion within and on behalf of your house each week. So you will get a grade each week on your discussion posts. You will be evaluated individually, but the house with the highest number of discussion points among its 5 members will receive 100% for that discussion component of the course. Additionally, that house will be declared the victors of the Fall 2018 Throne Bowl. So if you are in a house where people aren't cooperating, but every week you are consistently plugging away, like, don't worry, your Canon will still get a good grade. You're not, stuck with the grade that other people in the house are getting. It's not an average based on the house, but for the purposes of this Throne Bowl competition, which of the 8 houses has the best score? You do want to pull together. And having taught this class before, I'll say, I've seen a case where one member of the group forgot to submit a post or wasn't consistent, and really tanked everybody else in the class, in their house. So here are some discussion post guidelines that I think are probably pretty standard in any English class, but I'm adjusting the description here for discussion posts, which is something maybe you don't write in a conventional English course. Write in complete and intelligent sentences. Spell and grammar check your posts, so you can write them in Word if need be. You can use colloquialisms and abbreviations, maybe even to begin a post or to conclude it. just to add a little bit of levity to the discussion, but it really is more of a serious academic exercise than something fun. So when in doubt, err on the side of being more serious. With each post over the course of the semester, you'll have a specific question as well as specific guidelines to follow. So I'd say, yeah, if the question asks you something particular about a text and you have to include quotations from the text, focus on getting that done rather than making your post super funny. That's only if you have extra time. So do post more than once a week to foster conversation. Do respond meaningfully to other House members' posts. Do obey the guidelines explained in e-etiquette, and your posts must be completed each Sunday by 5 p.m. So this will become second nature by the time we are a few weeks into the semester. Posts submitted after that time will not be considered. So we really do need to keep the class moving along because the material for the next week begins. You can't just submit a pile of 14 posts at the end of the semester because, this is, part of a discussion that you're supposed to be involved in on a weekly basis. So you're letting your House members down, and the discussion is not as rich for your not having been a part of it. Written work. So I have here a couple of papers with the approximate due date, one of them right before midterm grades, the other right before Thanksgiving break. And I think that those dates are pretty solid what they are going to be. So if you want to pencil them into your academic planners, be my guest. And Mr. Agner and I will talk about what the subject of those papers will be. I'm thinking that they'll be something like 4 to 5 pages apiece. Final exam, this will take place during exam week, and more details about that, in the future because I don't yet have the rubric for what the final exam will contain, and B, some of the particulars about when you take the exam is up to you because we're not all sitting the exam at the same time because this is an online class. So let me just speak to a couple of ways that you might take the test. So one is in one of our campus testing labs. So you schedule that through Ole Miss Online, and here's the contact information if you're going to be taking it within a campus lab. The alternative is to take it, and I have instructions online regarding this. Let me put my cursor on this item here because it's new to probably new to some, is ProctorU, and I had great success with it even though I was skeptical. So you can take the exam at home. We administer it through Blackboard, and there's some kind of monitoring system that makes sure that you don't open any other web windows, and that you don't open a whole bunch of books on the other side of the screen. So yeah, it does sound kind of Orwellian, but people found it convenient. I think it is something like $20 to take it. But if you do live far from a campus facility, that might be a modest fee and thus a probable option for you to pursue. So that's something to keep in mind about where and how you'll take the final exam. So I'll have a prompt regarding final exams, like a little envelope on the left-hand side of the sidebar of the page for you to look at with more details, because that is a little bit down the road. Here is the grade scale that we will be using this semester. So weighted grades, an A grade on a paper would mean I'm so excited. I'm running down the hallway, knocking on my neighbors' doors, wanting them to see this paper. A B means that you exceeded the requirements for the paper, did a little something extra. A C means that you satisfied the requirements for the assignment. I would not be concerned per se about a D on one single assignment. It does mean that you missed the mark a bit, but a D for the course suggests that you took an a la carte approach to it, as I like to say. So It means you didn't do all of the discussion posts, you didn't do all of the quizzes, that you just picked and chose. So some of the texts, for example, might seem more agreeable to you than others and more quote unquote fun, but you know, part of adulting is doing it all, right? So that's what a D grade for the final grade would designate. But a D grade just on one assignment is really no cause for pushing the panic button all the way down. An F means that you missed a substantial portion of the work or that your work was greatly substandard. And then the incomplete and withdraw grades are ones that are kind of exceptional.